Hello everybody. Today I want to share my thoughts, my official thoughts on the Civivi Altus. This is a button lock knife. I believe this is Civivi's second button lock open closing mechanism knife. And it is just freaking amazing. So reading the specs off of Blade HQ's website where I got it from, overall length of it is 7.12. Blade length is 3 inches or 3.05. So I mean, take it as it is, I guess. It's a 3-inch knife, wink wink. Cutting edge is 3 inches. And blade material is Nitro V. It's a drop point, spear point kind of vibe we got going on here. And it's just a full flat grind. So a couple finishes on other variants. They do have a bead blasted one, but some of the other ones are just this black stone wash. It is very clean, very tight grain stone wash, and it's pretty nice. This one specifically is the Cuborsha wood. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. And currently right now it's $76.50. So it's around an $82 knife after taxes and shipping. And it is extremely well justified. This thing is freaking awesome. So super fidget friendly. I love the concept behind the plunge lock because I believe it's not only is it just for fidget factor, but it could be viewed as a safety mechanism. It keeps your fingers from the path of the blade when closing, just as many other access locks and things like a shark lock also keep your fingers out of the way. It's pretty comfortable in hand. And yeah, it's a solid knife. I have taken it apart a couple times just to do basic maintenance. There is some weight relief on the steel liners on the inside. And just the overall fit and finish, it's what I've come to expect from Civivi. It's pretty sweet. I like it. The pocket clip, it sits on top of the scale material, but at least these screws are flat, so it carries rather nicely in the pocket. I did have to bend it a little bit because it was pretty darn tight. I mean, it is still pretty darn tight, but I did have to bend it a little bit just for my typical pant material that I wear, which are like Dickies and jeans and things like that. Don't really have a whole lot more to say about this knife besides that it's freaking sweet. Couple size comparisons. Got a bug out right here. Quite similar in size. If anything, I think the bug is actually larger. Maybe a smidgen. Yeah, just maybe a little bit. Para 3 lightweight. So, same cutting length on both these two guys, but you get a much larger handle with the Spyderco. And then another Civivi comparison, the Elementum. So yeah, quite similar. But if you guys have watched my review on the Elementum, at least for the one experience that I have with an Elementum, this one, I would still prefer the Altus, definitely the Altus. At the same price point, I believe my specific Civivi Elementum was the S35VN version. It's also floats around $80. But S35VN, in my opinion, is much more durable than Nitro V. But even then, I would still prefer the Altus over the Elementum just because this is much more hand-filling with the... I mean, it is contoured, but at least it has this little bit of a you know, this area right here for your fingers. Yeah, it just feels nice. It's a very light duty jimping, nothing crazy, nothing super tactical. And this would be an amazing gift knife. So from what I know, majority of people have said in the past that if you want to give a knife to a non-knife person, that the Elementum is the perfect gift to give. You know, they float between like $30 for like, they've gone up in price. Let's say 40, 45 bucks for the cheapest Civivi Elementum. And then, you know, they creep up there with different handle materials and blade materials like this S35VN version versus like D2 and some of the other blade variants. And I think this would be the next step. If, you know, that person that you gifted the Elementum to really loves it and they really want to get into knives and they're like, what's the next step? I really do think that this knife will define fidget factor for them, and they'll get it. They'll get what it means to, you know, not only view a knife as a tool, but something to, you know, play with and, you know, have an enthusiastic perspective on. So this thing's just pretty sweet. The only little issue I did have with it was in the beginning, and maybe it was due to it still breaking in, but the action just wasn't that great in the first couple weeks that I had it. So I took it apart, cleaned it out, and now it's just super freaking smooth. Like, look at that. Yeah, this thing's just freaking awesome. So not much more to say about this guy. I would say pick it up while they're still in stock at Blade HQ. This is a model that I do believe will get enough praise that there might be some dealer exclusive versions, and I will, you know, maybe end up picking up another one, you know, possibly to customize or maybe just get different blade material, different handle material. If this was brought, you know, from Blade HQ when their typical, you know, different blade material and JG10 handles, I would be drooling over that, and I would have definitely picked that one up versus this wooden one. I only have one other wooden scaled knife in my collection, but I picked this one just because I wasn't really too fond of the other options. But I mean, yeah, that's really it. So thank you guys for watching.